State leaders react to execution of Alabama inmate James Osgood. James Osgood, convicted of the 2010 murder of Tracy Lynn Wilemon in Chilton County, was executed by lethal injection on Thursday. The execution was carried out at the William C. Holman Correctional Facility. The governor's office confirmed his death at 6:35 p.m. Give a like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Governor Kay Ivey denied clemency to James Osgood. She directed Corrections Commissioner John Hamm to proceed with the execution. In a release statement, Governor Ivey emphasized the premeditated and gruesome nature of the crime committed against Tracy Lynn Wilemon. The governor highlighted the influence of a Hollywood torture scene on Osgood and his accomplice Tanya Van Dyke. She expressed her hope that the execution would bring some measure of closure to Wilemon's family. The statement conveyed the gravity of the situation and the state's commitment to justice. An embargoed statement was released by Osgood's attorney prior to the execution. The statement affirmed their commitment to providing effective legal representation throughout the process. It sought to offer a more complete picture of James Osgood beyond the crime he committed. The attorney spoke of Osgood's humanity, humor, and remorse. While acknowledging the severity of Osgood's actions, the statement emphasized remembering him as a person, not just a criminal. Osgood was known by the nicknames Taz and Jimmy. The statement highlighted Osgood's love for laughter and his ability to bring joy to others. It stressed Osgood's accountability for his actions and the sincerity of his remorse. The attorney argued that people are redeemable, despite the terrible things they may have done. Attorney General Steve Marshall expressed his prayers for the family of Tracy Lynn Wilemon. He reaffirmed the state's unwavering commitment to seeking justice for victims of violent crime. The Attorney General emphasized the importance of upholding the law. Marshall highlighted the jury's unanimous recommendation of the death penalty in Osgood's case. He stated Alabama's dedication to ensuring that justice is served. The Attorney General's statement aimed to honor the dignity of every victim. The statement conveyed the hope that the execution would restore peace to the communities affected by the crime. It underscored the state's resolve to provide closure for grieving families. The Attorney General's words reflected a commitment to upholding the principles of justice. James Osgood confessed to the rape and murder of Tracy Lynn Wilemon. The crime occurred in 2010 in Chilton County, Alabama. Tanya Van Dyke, Wilemon's cousin, was an accomplice in the murder. The attack took place in Wilemon's bedroom. Osgood confessed to slashing Wilemon's throat and stabbing her multiple times. He later expressed remorse for his actions and accepted his sentence. Initially, Osgood denied killing Wilemon. However, he later urged a judge to give him the death penalty. Osgood said he remembered seeing the fear in her eyes during the attack. Osgood stated, "I told her I was sorry. It was nothing against her. She just needed to quit fighting and go." He also said, "I've always been a firm believer in an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, life for a life." These statements revealed a disturbing mindset. Tracy Lynn Wilemon was described as a hard-working mother. She was thriving in Clanton, Alabama at the time of her death. Wilemon was in the process of rebuilding her life after a divorce. She was saving money to visit her daughter, who lived in Arizona. Wilemon's family described her as spunky and full of life. Her stepsister and stepmother attended both the trial and the execution. The family had reportedly forgiven Osgood, but believed his sentence was just. The stepsister and a cousin had grown up together in Southern California. The stepsister said she was very loved. She would have made an amazing grandmother. James Osgood's childhood was marked by pain and abuse. He never knew his biological mother. Osgood experienced both sexual abuse and neglect during his formative years. He was diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder. Osgood attempted suicide as a teenager. His sister testified about their shared experiences of neglect and abuse. Osgood showed emotion only when his sister testified during the trial. His difficult past was presented as mitigating evidence. However, it did not excuse his heinous crime. Defense attorneys argued that investigators used trickery to elicit a confession from Osgood. Chief Assistant District Attorney C.J. Robinson described the crime as fulfilling a twisted fantasy. The prosecution emphasized the brutality of the murder. Osgood ultimately dropped all appeals and fired his attorney. Tanya Van Dyke, his accomplice, is currently serving a life sentence in federal prison. The legal proceedings concluded with Osgood's execution.